truth? Are you tired of being so confused? You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news. Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, stop unfriend me. 'Cause I'm everything you want, damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies, back up all the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's stuff.
Howdy y'all, this is Damani Felder. These are perilous times in American history, and now more than ever we need individuals who are willing to wage war on the ideological battlefield with like-minded individuals. And I can think of no better place to start than my friends at the Don't Unfriend Me show. So thank you for being here, and enjoy the show.
You know, I was just thinking, I'm so glad we haven't had him on in a while. You know? I mean, it's just like, oh, jeez. Every time I play that, I'm just like, oh, God, Damani Felder. Jeez. Were you ever going to book him again? I don't think so.
I mean, who wants him on?
I don't know.
Come on.
Not me. I told you to never call him again.
It's Red Friday. RED Friday, which stands for Remember Everyone Deployed. A movement designed to honor veterans and deployed U.S. troops by wearing a red shirt every Friday. As simple as that may be, Red Friday is a great way to back those who serve our country. Go to dumbshow.com and search for Red Friday to get your red on.
Oh, that coffee is so good. Listen, this graphic designer for the Dumb Show, he's something else. Just saying.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
What's going on, everybody? You know, the funny thing is that Damani, we didn't have our studio done when you were here. We didn't even start it, did we?
That's right. Nope. You were still in the process of putting it together.
Oh, and you're coming out this year. We got to get you out of here because that's.
Oh yeah, I already told my wife about it. Don't worry.
That's good. You got to sit here, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. Listen, the lateness is my fault. Completely, 100% me. I apologize. I will flex. Damani's probably going to have to get out of here at 9. So's Olivia, a little bit earlier than that. So I'll probably run solo. But I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. We'll be here all night. Remember, go to thedumbshow.com and you go, oh, wow, where are they getting all those wonderful toys? Those hats, those shirts, the coffee. Oh, we go over to thedumbshow.com. And the store is crushing this week. I think we've had, was our 37th transaction last night. So people are buying coffee and shirts and a whole bunch of stuff because we had a little bit of advertisement to the slides. So if you have not had a chance, go over there and find some goodies for you. Whole bunch of good stuff. We got Damani Felder in the house tonight. Next week, we got Chris Tonto Peranto from 13 Hours, the hero of Benghazi, will be on. We're really stoked to have Tonto back. Not as much as Damani, but that's just the way it is. We love Damani. And who else? Who's coming, Liv?
Mandy and Jack will be here on the 24th of February.
And then somebody else.
And then Jack and Paul, I can't pronounce his name.
Cafortis.
Califortinus. Something like that.
Expialidocious.
I think he'll be first week of February. Halitosis. Yeah, first week of February sometime, but not 100% sure on the date. And then working on other person.
What a plug, Liv. I'm sure everyone's excited. Who's the other guy that we're working on too?
His name's
Marine?
Brian Cook.
Brian Cook, Marine Corps. Yeah, we've got a bunch of good guests. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show. Damani Felder, welcome back to the Dumb Show, man. How you doing, buddy?
Matt and Olivia, thanks for having me back. It is always good to be here. Looking forward to chopping up for the next little bit. So much to talk about, so much to do, but there's no better people to be in the fight alongside than y'all. So it's an honor to be here with you guys this evening.
You guys going to get some cold down there, man. I mean, when we left Houston, it snowed and twice. What's the prediction tonight?
Yeah, I know that we're going to winterize the house tomorrow because it's going to be at least under the freezing point for, I want to say, the next 2.5 straight days. So, we might get a little snow, probably going to get a bunch of freezing rain, but got the generator ready because I don't know if people out there remember back when the hurricane hit us. God, that was a 1.5 years ago, I want to say. And we were without power for a while. So now we're much better prepared and looking forward to hopefully coming through unscathed compared to last time. But our prayers and thoughts are with anybody who's going to be going through this. Hopefully you are prepared and have an action plan as well, because this winter storm is definitely going to be unprecedented.
Yeah. So you got the pool covered and the landing strip. You've got that salted. So when the planes come in, you're good to go. You're set. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
my private plane.
Your private plane. He keeps telling me he's going to come out, and I'm like, "Well, dude, you own a plane. Why can't you just fly out here? You and your."
God, I wish.
Yeah, no, me too. Bad. Seriously, Facebook won't let that happen. No. So we've got a good show tonight. We got a lot to cover. Liv, any points that we need to cover that we haven't already? Are we good to go? Oh shit! I turned your mic down.
Sorry, I was talking to Hayden.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think we are good as far as all that fun stuff. So.
Well, let's rock and roll. We got to get into it. We got a ton of stuff to talk about tonight. Welcome. It's nice to see people getting online now. So Rumble's starting to fire off. Looks like Facebook's doing well. Let's get this, if we could, on Twitter, folks. That's a big lift for us. I'd love to see a 300-400 night on Twitter. That'd be amazing. So first things first. You sent me this video about Carolyn Levitt, and
yes.
Now she had her baby, or
no? She just found out she's pregnant with her second child.
So that would have been way too quick. So she's gonna have a baby, and a nurse came out and said some stuff.
Yes, she is a home health nurse, which means she comes to people's homes and takes care of them.
I see. Well, she's been fired. So she's no longer employed, and she's no longer employed because she said this. Pardon the language. This gets a little inappropriate. In fact, tonight we have a couple inappropriate videos. This is just one of them. Here is this wonderful white liberal woman. I mean, and we immediately know as we set it up there that she's going to be completely sane. So here it is. Oh, I got to change the audio. See, I did it. Finally. Yay. It only took me, 5 years?
Only.
I know. Whatever. Shut up, Liv.
For Caroline Levitt. She is pregnant with a baby girl. And I truly do hope that baby is so healthy. I hope she's healthy and headstrong. So headstrong, in fact, that as she is emerging into this world through Caroline's geriatric deck garage, that she tears her from bow to fucking stern. Grade 4 tear. Like so big that when she gets out of the shower naked and walks across the room like she accidentally picks up dog toys. Yeah. That's my wish for you, Caroline.
Wow. Well, there's one, and then there's another, and this one's been fired. So I guess this is a great career resume builder, because here's the other chick.
I didn't know somebody else
did it. As a labor
and
delivery nurse, it gives me great joy to wish Caroline Levitt a 4th-degree tear. I hope that you fucking rip from bow to stern and never shit normally again, you cunt.
Would love to know where you work. Would love to know where you work. A labor and delivery nurse, and that's what you're saying about another woman who's gonna have a baby? I don't care who the woman is. Why would you? Why? Oh, that's right, because you don't like what she says. I bet your job would love to see that video. TikTok, do your thing.
Well, they did, and she doesn't have a job either.
Good. And you know what? I understand free speech and all that, but when you are technically threatening someone, and here's the other thing, that's your job to take care of pregnant women and women who are giving birth, and you're wishing harm on those women. You should never work in that industry ever again. Period. Hands down. I mean, we threw a hissy fit about a nurse who was just being a snatch in the delivery room when I was pregnant with Ethan.
That's not the word I used.
I know that, but
I didn't say that. I didn't
but
say
you
that.
used the outside of the room. That's what I was thinking.
I was a really good dude. I was very nice to everybody. I really was. I mean, usually I'm not, but you were on another level that night. So
I wasn't happy with her. She made me cry.
No, you were not. You weren't taking any foo-foo from anybody.
You don't make a woman who's in labor cry. And then you're gonna regret it if you make a woman who is in labor cry.
So do nurses have to take the Hippocratic Oath?
Yes, as far as I know. I don't know for sure, but yes, they do.
Okay, so they do. So to do no harm. You have a daughter. I mean, tonight we're going to talk a couple things about our families and how we would react as fathers and mothers and the matriarchs and patriarchs of our family. What are your thoughts on this? Because you get a lot of hate mail and a lot of really just abhorrent comments. And I've read some of them. In fact, you make mockery of them and do the top 3 of a month. You used to do it a week, but there was just too much to do. So now you do it a month. What do you think about this?
Yeah, that's my famous hater of the month post. I love putting them together because it really pulls back that curtain on what the left has become. Honestly, what they were for a very long time. But for a while now, there were people who would march right up to that line and not cross it. They would do the requisite song and dance whenever something tragic happens. You know, when people say, oh, thoughts and prayers, but don't really mean it. Many of these individuals will do that. But now they've gone a step beyond that. And what's even more egregious is that someone in a position like that would go so far as not just to think that, because everyone has their own private twisted thoughts, you could argue, but to go a step further and post it on social media so confidently. And the only reason people would post something like that on social media is because they think there are enough like-minded people who are equally as evil and morally bankrupt and degenerate who would endorse this behavior. And I don't know why they keep doing this, because a lot of people find out the hard way that the whole liberal cancel culture is over. The pendulum has swung to the other side after what happened to Charlie Kirk. And many people, they found out the hard way that you can't do what you think you can do on social media. But now there's still people who cannot learn from others' mistakes. And honestly, what I would argue is it's a net positive for polite society, corporate America, as it were, because these are the kinds of people, I don't know why, but it seems like a disproportionate number of them are deeply embedded and entrenched in not just the public health sector, but also in the education system.
Right.
You know, I've seen other videos of individuals who, you know, are teachers, and they are actively poisoning the minds of the next generation. And when you say such disgusting things just about another person, and these are the same people who are always talking about, oh, we love women so much. No, you don't. You just love whoever is programmed to say what you agree with and nothing else. And you go a step further to wish the most injurious forms of harm on another individual just because you disagree with them. These are people that many would argue you cannot even share polite society with. And when these individuals do have those harsh consequences made out against them, that hopefully is the wake-up call they need to realize that society is not as gone as you are, and you need to do whatever you have to do to fix yourself to be accepted back into society, hopefully in any capacity in the near future.
Isn't it? It's an episiotomy, isn't it? That's when they have to actually make the cut.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you're gonna tear, they cut you so you don't tear.
So here's my thing. Like, wishing misfortune on somebody, I think we've all done it. You know, we've all been in that situation where someone makes us upset or frustrated, and we're like, you know, I hope that person gets fired, or I hope they lose that big football game. But this is a very sadistic and guttural type of thought process of, I'm not only going to wish harm on the mother, but I'm also going to wish harm on the child, because it's a dangerous situation for kids. And getting caught in the birthing canal leads to a lot of stillborn deaths. I know Hayden had a hard time, and we were worried that may have to happen, or they may have to do a C-section. And it's a personal thing. It would be very much like a man saying, I hope he gets testicular cancer. He rots away from the inside, from the lower body up. It's a very, very personal thing for a man to say to another man, because that's one of our biggest things is we don't want anything happen in that area. We don't want prostate cancer. We don't want testicular cancer. We don't want to lose our Johnson. Our twig and berries are important to us. And as a woman, the uterus and the ability to reproduce is a very intimate thing exclusive to a woman. So I wonder, why would a woman say that to another woman, even if it was her worst enemy? I just don't understand. And it seems that I don't hear men talking like this. And I'm not trying to make this a sex thing, but I really don't hear. I hear some pretty horrible comments made by podcasters and influencers, and they say a lot of things, and they call each other a lot of names, but I don't hear this type of thing. Liv, is this normal? I mean, has it increased where women are they have this level of disdain for each other?
Women are very petty creatures anyway.
I'm not going to say that.
We are. We tend to hold grudges. We tend to get emotional, especially during, the fun time of the month.
Yeah.
There are times when you never really know who you're going to get. You might get the happy-go-lucky person, and you might not the next day. So yes, we're emotional creatures.
Yeah.
But
it just seems like overboard, doesn't it?
Doesn't matter how much of a bad month I am having. I'm not going to say that about another human being.
No.
I'm not going to wish ill will on a person just because I disagree with what they say. Now, there are some people out there, some women out there who I know on a personal level who I don't like, period. And there's a handful of them. And if somebody told me and gave me a phone call and said, hey, this person passed away, I'd be like, great. Okay. Bummer. And I wouldn't give another thought. But I'm not going to wish ill will on that person.
Right.
So I'm not going to be like, if they were pregnant, gosh, I hope they rip from sternum to bow or whatever the heck she said. Because that's just mean.
Sternum and bow are completely two different
I know,
things.
whatever, sternum and bow, whatever.
Stern. It's okay.
Whatever.
Sternum is a navigational term.
Yeah, I figured that.
Nautical term.
Well, maybe she's, it's because I'm saying that woman's as big as a boat.
Melanie says, I waited 20 years to get my brother back. Petty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But I do have a point that I kind of wanted to make. I didn't mean to cut you off, Liv. Sorry.
Sure. Yeah, you did. You're rude. No, I'll get you back in 20 years.
She's gonna get you. You're screwed now, buddy.
Too soon.
Too
soon. No, but what I wanted to say though is what I find particularly alarming about this strain of radical liberalism, cultural Marxism, would be a more appropriate descriptor, is that it seems to have disproportionately and incredibly warped the minds of women, particularly those who are susceptible to the liberal playbook. They honestly, if you think about it, they have become the unofficial foot soldiers and army of the left most recently, and I would say probably over the last decade or so. It is something about the masterclass in emotional manipulation and that these women have been subjected to for far too long, and many of them are jilted in many cases, and they take that anger potentially towards one interaction or one or two individuals in their life, and they seem to project all of that visceral hatred onto the entirety of their political adversaries with no decorum whatsoever. So what's really sad is we're seeing this accelerate. And what's more concerning too is that for every one person who was bold enough to make a video as disgusting as that woman did, there's 10 or 15 more who are just right there on the cusp. And we saw so many of them come out, in the past several months, but they're right there. And the question becomes, how can we get these people back? Is there a way to get them back? Because many of them seem to be gone. And case in point, I saw a video earlier today, and it was a woman, a Caucasian woman, a white female liberal, and she was demonstrating and showing people how she gets ready to take her little baby, probably barely a year old or between a year and 2 years old, out into negative 15-degree weather in Minneapolis to go on ice patrol.
Yeah.
Like, how gone do you have to be? How terrible of a parent do you have to be to put your own child in these situations
because you have some deep desire to feel like you're a part of something. We see these liberal parents, they will put their children in harm's way, and you'll hear the news tries to spin it as some, terrible humanitarian crisis. A little baby just got pepper sprayed. A little baby got trampled at this why were they there in the first place? Like, we have to start asking those questions, because if you are so terrible of a parent that you will involve your child in something that they have no ability to say yes or no to, that is going to be dangerous in a caustic atmosphere, and you put them there intentionally, then questions can be raised about your fitness to be a parent as well. But it's very sad that you typically will see a lot of single white women are the first ones front and center on the front lines, putting themselves everywhere they do not need to be, and saying some of the most horribly degenerate and depraved things. But the good news, again, is that there are enough people who have found a voice, because make no mistake, over the past decade, I've experienced it, that silencing, that censorship of anything that disagrees with what the left dictates. Now that pendulum has swung back to the point where the individuals who thought they had carte blanche to say whatever and do whatever are starting to figure out, those individuals who were browbeating into silence for a long time, they found their voice, and they're willing to push back and go so far as to even contact, my employer, and say, oh, this person's making this video. Well, yeah, the individuals who make videos like that, they probably, especially if you're in the healthcare industry, you probably should know that an individual like that could very well be involved in delivering aid or care to someone that you care about. And
Right.
people have a right to know that if individuals don't take that Hippocratic Oath seriously, then maybe they shouldn't be in that line of work.
Well,
Yeah.
these are the same women that were downing bottles of Tylenol to shove it to Trump and go, my kid's not going to get autism because Donald Trump told me it could.
Right.
And downing entire bottles of Tylenol when they're 6 months pregnant to make a point. I mean, how stupid do you have to be? To be honest, if I was in charge of CPS, I'd be like, okay, here's this person. Okay, as soon as that kid is born, I'd be at that hospital. Okay, I'm sorry, but this kid's coming with us because you intentionally tried to poison your child. And right there, that is child abuse, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is. And listen, this goes back. I mean, I know we Damani, I'm not pushing back. I'm actually agreeing with you, but I'm expanding it. This goes back to third and fourth wave feminism. And the first and second wave, you may not agree with, but not you particular, Damani, but there's people out there might say feminism was a waste of time. I disagree. I think women should be able to vote. I think women should receive equal pay for equal quality work. And I believe that they shouldn't be grabbed and fondled in the workplace as a sex toy. These are things that are probably completely fine with me. The other part was, well, now we need to go ahead and now that we have rights, we need to have special rights. And we need to have rights that are equivalent to what men had for eons. And then it just became that all men suck and we hate men. And that entire philosophy is brought up in college. And it's now working its way through the education system. So when you ask the question, well, why are nurses and teachers, why do they have a proclivity to be exposed and susceptible to these type of things? It's because they need a degree to be a nurse, and you need a degree to be a teacher. And we're finding that these socio archetypes are taking place through the college system. And this is the Saul Alinsky playbook. This is what Marxist Leninism and socialism, when it came here, came through the liberal media in Hollywood. And when it was pushed back by Ronald Reagan, it was pushed back by Montgomery Clift, it was pushed back by Charlton Heston. And they went after the Screenwriters Guild, and they excommunicated the communists from these areas by pushing back on this. This is what got Reagan into office as a governor, is his exceptionalism when it came to America First and pushing away commie Reds. The issue is when these people fled Hollywood, they went in and fell back on their liberal arts degrees, which is teaching. And they mass matriculated to multiple areas of the country and started indoctrinating our kids. So I think it's important for people to understand is that there's something deeper here, but it's moving not just from philosophy of interruption and division, but now it's violence. And it's not that speech is violence. It's that we're starting to see other people who are not necessarily having all their faculties together, like the transgender community, take these things so seriously that they feel that they have to go and act on it. We saw this with Charlie Kirk. We've seen that with the church shooting. And somebody is going to hurt Carolyn Levitt because this wacko has prescribed this, as she has looked like a an important figure as a nurse and somebody who is educated and smart and what people emulate to be, is now someone that you listen to. And this is where the weaponization of this movement is becoming really severe. It's a good topic. This next topic is even more fantastic. Bananas and rice. Liv, bananas and rice.
No.
Yes, buddy.
I like
no.
to eat
apples and bananas.
Damani, you have got to know this. Your daughter's in the nursery
Oh, yeah.
rooms now.
Of course.
Yeah.
Anonymous donated $25. So happy to see Damani. Looking forward to a great show. Oh, you're going to get a great show, and it's going to start with bananas and rice. Ladies and gentlemen, we thought that Miss South Carolina.
It was Miss Arizona, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it was Carolina.
It was Carolina?
It was
Okay.
Carolina who gave the answer of, such as like Iraq and like Bosnia, such as so this is Miss Somalia with her answer on bananas and rice. Olivia had a comment about it. She's gonna go ahead and go first, and then we're gonna give it to Mani. Here it is.
So I'm Somali. I'm proud to be Somali. To me, being Somali isn't just eating bananas with rice. It's a lot. It's like it's an interesting thing. It's very hard to describe what it means to be Somali and what it means to be American, but it's like a cultural fusion. It's kind of like the bananas and rice. People don't really see, people don't think, oh, you can eat bananas with rice, but that's what it's like to be Somali and American. It's like that combination of banana and rice, but you're gonna get what I mean. So I'm Somali.
Right. Liv, you had a comment?
I think she got her early education at the Leering Center.
Yeah.
Damn it, you stole my line.
Oh, wait.
And her husband told her to say that line too.
Notice the giant Band-Aid on her forehead.
Yep. God, that wouldn't surprise me. That clip. Some days I feel like we're living in a real life South Park at this point. It's like everything, like that's something that South Park would do. That's something that SNL would do.
Oh, goodness.
It's the Somalian Kamala Harris.
Dude, you need to make a meme or something with bananas and rice or something with her.
My next coffee brand is going to be called Bananas and Rice.
It's gonna be. Don't they have Somali coffee beans?
Yeah.
Dude, you got to get some Somali coffee beans and name it bananas and rice.
Yeah, but they cost like $9 billion per pound. So they're very expensive. They're very expensive coffee beans. Anyway, listen, we're not going to be able to say a lot about that because it's just funny in its own right. So I didn't expect a huge amount of conversation. But this one's going to get some pull. Olive,
yes.
Olympic drug dealers? What? What's going on with this?
Olympic drug dealers. There you go.
So
it's a
well, you just put somebody in.
I did.
You can't do that. You got to say
Don Bradley starting you off. Hi, Damani, $20. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Don. We love you. Go ahead.
Don't remember his name, but he is a former U.S. Olympic.
Let me guess, a snowboarder. Of course, it's a snowboarder. Of course, it is.
And he went from U.S. Olympic snowboarder. I don't know if he got any medals. To top 10 FBI fugitive wanted list.
Yeah, was it murder and one of the largest drug dealers in the continental United States?
I didn't hear anything about murder, but one of the biggest drug rings.
We got it. Okay, so here it is. First of all, we're going to talk about the Olympic drugs, and then Kash Patel got up there and started slinging arrows. By the way, for those people who were looking for like the year of 2025 was like the year of change or Trump do. I think 2026 is going to be the year of arrests. I am hearing a ton of shit. Like every DOJ contact I have, every ICE contact I have, every Secret Service contact, everything I'm hearing is, dude, hold on to your hat. Arrests are a coming, and they're coming a heavy. And I'm like, so this might be the year of Bondi. You guys might all be eating crow. Here's the
Bondi.
Here's the
Pam Bondi.
Jeez, you're on a roll. Here's the Olympic drug dealer.
The FBI says it has arrested former Olympic snowboarder and alleged drug kingpin Ryan Wedding. FBI Director Kash Patel is set to give an update on that case at any minute. Let's bring in ABC Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas for more. Hi, Pierre. The FBI Director has called Ryan Wedding a modern-day Pablo Escobar. So what are you learning about how they finally got him?
Well, Diane, this is one of the more colorful members of the FBI's top 10 most wanted list. He is an Olympic snowboarder, participated in the 2002.
I know him. I don't know him personally, but I remember this guy.
He does look familiar.
He looked like Donnie Wahlberg when he snowboarded.
Oh, that's
You remember him?
Yep.
Yeah, I remember this guy. Oh,
He was
good.
on the team with Shaun White, wasn't he?
Yeah, he did the what was that stupid thing that where they sped down the
the slalom.
Snowboard cross.
Yeah, snowboard cross. That's it. Yep.
Yeah, snowboard cross.
Winter Olympics in Salt Lake City. But the FBI says he was a drug lord.
He still looks like Donnie Wahlberg. He does, doesn't he? New kids hanging tough.
For murders and engaged in a criminal enterprise bringing tons of cocaine into the United States and also flowing into Canada. The information that we're getting now just from Mexican reporters and producers down in Mexico is that they're saying that Ryan Wedding actually turned himself in voluntarily, that the FBI director was actually in Mexico, and that they're bringing him back to the United States on board a flight to face prosecution.
There he looks like Mickey Rourke, which the drug thing now the drug thing scans.
Here inside the United States.
Pierre, they've been looking for him for a long time. What are you watching for at this press conference?
I think clearly, by virtue of the fact that the FBI director went down to Mexico, it tells you the level of priority. There's also a bit of stagecraft here. Clearly, the images of the FBI director walking off the plane with a top 10 most wanted drug dealer, kingpin in hand is an image that the FBI and the administration will like.
I can't make the video louder, folks. It's cranked up. This is just bad editing by the person. I'm very sorry, but in order to sound level out sound for every video, I usually try to do that. This one I obviously miss. It's cranked up as far as I can go. Just imagine it's Malcolm X's dad doing a speech.
To see that they've made fighting drugs, illegal narcotics.
Something about wolves and sheeps and all that. That's usually the speech that Malcolm X would give. And then just pretend you know that, and then we'll move on.
A huge priority. Today, we'll get more details on exactly how this went down.
All right, so exactly how did this go down? Here is the comments. Patel was in Minnesota. And so remember, folks, now we're seeing a chain of custody here of body bags that when Patel comes into a state, you can look at Charlie Kirk. He came in and then the killer was arrested. We broke that news to you. Then he is in Mexico. Then this guy's arrested. Then he's in Minnesota, and a few people go down Department of Justice who were broken into the church. And now Ellison in his investigation. So it seems like when we get a Kash Patel sighting, just adding the current news there, something's going to take place. Because watch this, and then we'll let Damani comment, and then Olivia.
And none of this would be possible without the tremendous leadership of Attorney General Pam Bondi and the Department of Justice and our partners and prosecutors at the United States Attorney's Office here in LA and our Los Angeles field office. Here you'll see many of our brave partners, including the Commissioner of the RCMP, the Chief of Police of the LAPD, our LA field office, ADIC, along with our partners from DEA and CBP and more. This is what a united front looks like. And just to tell you how bad of a guy Ryan Wedding is, he went from an Olympic snowboarder to the largest narco trafficker in modern times. He is a modern-day El Chapo. He is a modern-day Pablo Escobar. And he thought he could evade justice. But these brave men and women put together a prosecution package, put together an investigative package, put together an operation strategy, and here we are today.
He was on the Canadian team?
Oh. Well, that explains it.
Either way, that explains completely, yeah, because, I mean, if you're a Canadian, what else do you have? So, I didn't know it was Canadian team because I swear to God I saw him it doesn't matter. I saw him snowboarding. And when you said he was with, Shaun White, I didn't necessarily agree with that. I just remember him doing snowboard cross. But if he's Canadian, well, this explains a lot.
Bringing him to justice for trafficking hundreds of kilos of cocaine and also for the murder of innocent civilians. This individual and his organization and the Sinaloa cartel poured narcotics into the streets of North America and killed too many of our youth and corrupted too many of our citizens.
He was tied to the Sinaloa cartel. That ain't no joke.
That ends
That's gnarly.
today.
I'll be amazed if he makes trial.
I also want to have a
Oh, he's not.
tremendous shout out to the government of Mexico. President Sheinbaum, Secretary Harfouche, and the military and law enforcement officers of Mexico worked hand in glove with our teams on the ground there to apprehend last night in Mexico City, Ryan Wedding.
All right, well, Mel needs to call in and claim her citizen that's been dealing drugs in Canada, or any of our Canadian viewers. You guys need to make an account for this, and also your hockey teams, which haven't won a Stanley Cup in 32 years. It's an American sport now. Damani, your thoughts on this? How does this sit with you? What do you think?
You're the king of those subtle little jabs there. Well done. Like, I need to study under you a little longer, and I'll master it myself. You know, to your point, there were a lot of people, myself included at some points, who were questioning if we would ever see any sort of tangible justice. The good news is we're starting to see that mobilization effort, but the hope is that it will continue and that bigger and bigger fish will start to fry. If you catch my drift, we want to see, the Hillary Clintons and Bill Clintons of the world perp walked. And God, I can't even imagine how I'll feel if that day ever comes. But the fact that we are seeing more visible demonstrations of the efforts that are going on, that's really the only thing that's going to restore any sort of faith in the federal government for many people. Is we now know, by virtue of the internet, by virtue of independent citizen journalists, how deep that fraud truly runs, how many corrupt individuals there truly are out there. And we have to start seeing some consequences meted out if we are expected to have any sort of faith in this process whatsoever. And if we are to dispel with the notion that there is a two-tiered justice system. So to your point earlier, Matt, I am hopeful that 2026 will be the year of arrest. Honestly, it has to be, for the future viability of the right of the conservative ideology. We have to follow through on that very crucial part of our messaging, because many people remember that infamous line that many would argue even helped Trump win the presidency the first time, was when he told Hillary to her face that she'd be in jail if he was in charge of the laws in the country. And many people are waiting for those sorts of punitive measures to be meted out to the people who deserve them so richly. So I'm hopeful that 2026, we're just barely 1 month into it, much more to go. But in these next 10 months before Election Day, time is of the essence. And we need to see a lot more people get perp walked. I'll just say that.
Yeah. Well, if you can't win gold and you can't win platinum and you can't win silver, I guess drug dealing is an option. I mean, this guy owned helicopters and $4 million in motorcycles and just an incredible amount of wealth. I don't think you can accomplish that unless you're like a generational talent like Shaun White or somebody like that in the Olympics. So kind of amazing to see him go from that. So
I don't want to hear anything about Michael Phelps smoking pot at a party
ever
again.
Yeah.
Come on.
He just wanted to smoke a J.
He just was at a party, but man, was he drugged through the mud for that one.
Yeah.
He's smoking a joint. It's not like he's dealing.
Yeah, and I'm sure that they're not going to strip him of his medals because he's from Canada, which means he didn't win any.
I was going to say, I don't think he won any.
Right. Luckily, he didn't.
There he is again.
Luckily, he didn't get a drug test. So, all right. So
I think the Australians have more medals in the snowboarding than the Canadians.
The Jamaicans have more winter snow medals. In bobsledding. Did you see the movie? We're kidding, Canada. Relax. We love you. We give you a bunch of shit. Listen, you guys voted for Carney. You deserve every bit of it, right? You guys made fun of us with Biden. We got that. We appreciated it. You guys put in Carney after putting in Trudeau. We didn't think you could do worse. You did. It's amazing. Here is a video. Liberal women are harassing other women who work for no reason at all. Yep. Watch this quick one, and we won't have our pictures up because this is what I'm just adding to it. Here it is.
Hi. No, because we're not actually going to buy all of this. We just loaded up our carts. We're protesting Trump administration. This. Attention, Target shoppers. 2 o'clock now, we're going to walk out as part of the Free America walkout. We walk away from fascism. We walk towards a free America. We fight for a future that belongs to all of us. Everybody in, nobody out. Everybody should walk out, including the workers. Bye.
Why don't I ever have any fun? I shop at Target every single week for our groceries. Why didn't this happen at our Target when I was there? I would have totally loved to have seen that. I really would have.
You know what I want to do?
And
I want to get a Gestapo uniform, and I would like to be like, ladies, can I see your papers, please? just scare the shit out of her, and just have two guys that are just German descent. Because listen, if we truly were in a fascist state, she'd be dead. She'd be dead. She's not dead. She's at home not cooking because she didn't buy any groceries.
Now, if I was the Target manager, I'd be like, I'm sorry, you need to leave and not come back, because why? I mean, what is the point of that?
They won't do that because Target knows that if Target makes a stand, remember when they tried to do male and female bathrooms and rejected transgenderism, their stock went down. Remember when they went ahead and tried to sell LGBTQ clothing, the stock went down. So the whole message is don't get involved in politics. Be a corporation. Don't use Citizens United. Don't use your free speech as a corporation. Shut up, provide goods and services, and be quiet.
Yep.
Damani, what do you think?
That woman that was probably the highlight of her month. She has a deep, deep desire to be liked. There's no other reason why you do that, and why you intentionally are going to waste someone else's time because you want to have, and this is maybe a term that younger people would use a lot, but they'll say something like, oh, it's giving main character energy. And what that means is these people, they're LARPing so much that they're pretending to be something that they're clearly not, that they fully have entered a level of psychosis where they truly do believe that they are the warriors on the front lines of this battle that they're able to fight at Target of all places. Speaking of Target, I saw another video most recently, and it was a bunch of older white liberals. That's the best way to describe them. That's the best way. And they all had their carts lined up because each of them bought a single canister of Morton's salt. And they're going to go, they bought it and they all went in line. They're going to return it. And oh, this is our protest. And these people don't have anything better to do with their time. Honestly, it's kind of sad when you think about it. A lot of these older people who many would argue maybe would enjoy a better quality of life at a nursing home or whatnot, they really do believe that this is the best use of their time. They're going to sit there and go out and just cause a scene for who? No one other than themselves when you stop and think about it. It's all this self-gratifying ritual they put themselves through. And they do all this so that Ethel and Gertrude can sit there late at night and look what my friend Bertha did at Target today, accomplishing nothing, but ultimately proving why so many people go out of their way to avoid interacting with individuals like this, because they are inherently disagreeable. And what's worst in the through line of all of this is that the average leftist, we already know, is disaffected. They are deeply disturbed in many cases. And they truly do suffer from some sort of mental calamities in many cases. And that's actually been scientifically proven.
White people are crazy.
They have to make their problems the rest of the world's problems. They have to make their misery be the rest of the world's misery. And you think about it, that's why someone would come from an extremely deep blue area and would move to Texas, my backyard, or move to any other red state. And to them, it's not enough just to move somewhere new. They have to make their problems your problems, I should say,
right,
and make you miserable as they are miserable themselves. So honestly, it's sad when you take politics out of it. It's very sad that someone thought that was what they needed to be doing. That was how they were going to quote unquote make a difference.
You saw the video with the African-American lady. She's like, go ahead, Liv.
Sorry.
Don't be sorry. Go ahead.
Thomas Cawthorn. Don't forget to donate, Patriots. And everyone, stay safe this weekend. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tommy. Appreciate it. Yeah, and she's like, listen, white people, this is really sweet. This is really nice. Your white guilt's awesome, but we don't need you to defend us. We don't need you to teach us how to protest. We don't need you to teach us how to march. We kind of know how to do those things already. We've had 400 years to learn. So we know this is all new to you. We know this is kind of your thing, but we've got it from here. We're doing just fine. And maybe you should be, picketing and storming these cities that have kept African-American people down for 90 years of Democrat policy, instead of going after ICE and everything else, which honestly helps these inner cities more than it helps white suburbia. But they'll never connect the dots. Go ahead.
Somebody needs to give Betty White some smelling salts and bring back the Golden Girls, because seriously, these women need something to watch. Or seriously, like Fabio needs to we needed this generation's Fabio.
I cannot believe it's no better.
These women need something to do. There's no Fabio. There's no Golden Girls. Something needs to happen.
And so The View is not it.
The View is not it. They need something to waste their time with, so they stop being stupid.
Liv, that's a great point. I want you people out there to consider this as well. If you think about even the fourth wave feminism, this is all kind of tying together tonight, and I love it. The goal obviously was to say, oh, well, you don't need men. All men suck. You should just be angry at men, angry at the world, right? Where does that eventually leave you? It leaves you as an older white woman who thinks that the best use of her time, because she has nothing else to do, no family, because she probably got sold the lie, oh, you don't need to have a family, right? Oh, you don't need a man. You can just be the girl boss and go give your time and effort away to someone else, to a corporation. And then when you're sitting there, nothing else left to draw meaning or purpose in your life, then you have to search for anything to make you feel like you're a part of something, because the sad reality is you wake up one day and you realize that everything that you were sold in the name of feminism, radical feminism, fourth wave feminism, was a lie, and it ultimately just hurt you in the end and ensured that you would not have anything rich to enjoy in your sunset years. Therefore, you have to glom on to anyone or anything that will have you to give you some small modicum of a semblance of purpose in your life. And that's ultimately the sad conclusion of radical liberalism and feminism in a nutshell.
That's good stuff, dude. I mean, and then you take it a step further. Then there's the shadow guilt, the guilt, the skeleton in the closet that you may not want to know about, which is, let's be honest, it could be abortion. It could be, repudiating your husband. It could be making these choices that have created a life of loneliness and solidarity, but which usually is a strength. Usually people who can be alone are strong, independent people. They don't go out and projecting their fears onto others. And this is antithetical to that. This isn't a strength, it's a weakness. And I think when people are alone with their own mortality and when the demons come, their psyche becomes fragile and it becomes susceptible, and they try to cling on to anything. But most importantly, these people, levity causes them pain. I've seen it. Laughter is non-existent. These people can't laugh. They don't know how to laugh. Everything is serious. Everything that Donald Trump does is an affront to them. And the only thing that they know how to do is go out and make people more miserable than they are themselves. And this is where they get this nonsensical screaming and yelling and using bullhorns and pink vagina hats and throwing blood on the Mona Lisa and gluing their hands to the ground and getting in front of vehicles, trying to run over ice and getting shot. This stuff is psychosis, and it's treatable. And it takes years of therapy, or it takes a person finding God.
I think I just realized who most of these liberal women are. They were the popular cheerleader mean girls in high school that peaked in high school and never got past it. And they still think they're 16, 17 years old and popular and above everyone else. And they're the bullies. And they never moved past it.
So it's Damani's fault. Damani was a football player. He dated those girls.
Yeah, Damani. What's the deal, dude?
But you
do not put that on.
Olivia was
put
a
that on
cheerleader.
me.
Olivia was a
Absolutely.
cheerleader.
I was a cheerleader.
Well, Matt, you picked a good one. You picked one of the good ones, because some of those cheerleaders, I've heard the stories. There's some classic mean girls. But Olivia, that was a great point. The loneliness epidemic. It's all manufactured to be that way. If there's one thing the left is good at, it is preying on a group of people that the left, through their ideology and their party platform, has made to be disadvantaged, disaffected. And then they channel that rage, because you think about it, all this anger, these people aren't even angry at Trump anymore. They're not angry at ICE. They're not angry at MAGA. These are just easy targets for a leftist to channel all that bottled up rage, frustration, and hatred towards whoever wronged them in their lives. If you go back further, far enough, you'll see, maybe they were assaulted in their youth. Maybe something bad happened where the father left and abandoned the family. or maybe they had a man who decided to leave them, right? All of that usually is the seed that is planted, and then it grows into something and metastasizes into something that is wholly terrible. But that anger has to go somewhere, and all the left has to do is essentially like get a metaphorical laser pointer and say, be angry at this. And it's that reductive. And they'll say, oh, all the anger I have about all these other things, I'm going to put it towards this one person. That's why the hatred for Trump, the MAGA movement, ICE is so visceral, is because it's not even about them. It's about something that has not been resolved and has not been addressed. People don't have that peace that passes all understanding in many cases, I would even argue. And that rage, that anger, that spirit of darkness has to be channeled towards somewhere. And the left is literally in the pilot seat telling them where to go.
That malignancy is usually cured by love. And it usually happens at a younger age. Most people go through that malignant behavior when they're younger, that toxicity, that cancerous behavior where they're just negative, they're down on themselves, they hate themselves. And most people find their way out of it when they get older, and it becomes more benign because of love and caring. And maybe they find Christ, maybe they find the love of a child, but whatever that happiness is, it usually accompanies another person. It's a symbiotic relationship to their good health. I know Olivia balances me. I know my friends like Damani and others that balance me, keep me where I need to be and keep grounded. If you don't have that in your life, and you never were accountable for emotional maturity at a younger age because you were coddled your whole life, or you were held, by your parents and guarded, and you had safe spaces, then all of a sudden you find out that the world is a horrible place. It's a lonely place, and you have not set up those seeds and planted those seeds to have a fruitful life. It's got to be lonely. It's got to be miserable. And I feel for him a little bit. But at some point, we just got to stop feeling sorry for these people and just lock them up. Like let's just get them in a padded room. Let's give them some sodium pentothal and some shock treatments, and let's just forget about them, because these people are now turning it from just being spoiled and having tantrums to becoming violent. And it's not good for society. Here's a good story, though. All these things tie together. That's why we do this show. It doesn't take 5 minutes to do this show, folks. We collect stuff to have a theme. And if you notice, every night has a theme and everything kind of relates to each other. Yeah, that's the hard work that we do. thedumbshow.com/donate. You can help out if you want to. We're at $55 tonight. Olivia's going to put one in real quick. Yep. For Tamar Bush, $10. Happy Friday. Thank you, Tamar. Puts us at 65. We're almost there. We've got $230 some odd to go. So let's rock and roll. And if you can help out, please do. Here's the thing. You never hear this. Hi, my name's Susie, and I left the Republican Party, and I became a liberal. And I'm so happy I did so. I'm so happy I voted for Joe Biden. No video like that ever exists. You hear it all the time. I am no longer brainwashed. I left the woke party. I'm now a Republican. This is a good example of that. There's a million of these online. And isn't it funny that you never hear the opposite scenario? I wonder why. Here it is.
There's that saying, Trump was right about everything, and that's kind of how I'm feeling right now.
This breakfast conversation, our 6th visit with Betsy Sarcone, dating back to August 2023. Her shift, beyond dramatic. A DeSantis, then a Haley voter, said she would vote for Joe Biden if Trump won the Republican nomination. But she changed her mind.
I think Biden probably changed me more than Trump. I think watching nothing be done, for 4 years about an open border.
Now she gives Trump an A-, loves the immigration crackdown, just closed a big real estate sale, and thinks the economy is picking up. Sarcone laughed at Trump's 2020 election fraud claims when we first met. Another big change.
I'm starting to question the election of 2020, right?
He lost the election in 2020.
I don't know.
He lost the election in 2020.
The suburbs revolted against Trump.
You kind of have to
midterm.
have him lose it. Otherwise, you guys have a lot of egg on your face. Wouldn't you, big media?
Democrats are banking on it again. But Republicans don't have to worry about Sarcone. She likes Congressman Nunn and loves that her daughters can use a school choice plan.
There's that saying, Trump was right about everything.
So the question is, why is there this amazing revival that takes place when people leave the left and move to what would even be considered the center? We're having another video that's going to talk about the center and how there is no discernible left and right anymore. There's only leftism and then everyone who's sane. And that's really the truth. So why is it, Liv, that when people leave the left, that celebrate when they go to Trump, and why when people supposedly leave Trump or the conservative movement are absolutely miserable and some of the worst people on the planet. You got an answer for that one, or Damani?
I think it's because the left is a miserable party. I mean, they there's no joy in their party. I mean, if you are constantly spewing hate, you're going to fill your heart up and your soul up with hate. And when you do that, you're just a complete miserable person. You have to have some good in your life, and that party survives off of misery and other people's misfortunes
And fear, right?
Fear.
Yeah.
They live off of other people's failures.
Mhm.
They don't, if you look at them, they don't celebrate the left's wins. They highlight the right's failures.
Ooh, that's well put. I mean, I've heard that before, but not quite like that.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, you look at it, the left is all about the right lost. This, Trump is horrible. The right is this. The right is that. They're horrible people. They lost this. They're never about, yeah, we love Biden. We love this. We love Kamala. We've got great kids. No, it's not. It's all about the failures and the worst of the right. That's what they highlight. They have absolutely no happiness in their lives, and that's why they are so miserable.
So here's Damani, I want you to look at this, and once again, this ties in. Like, let's look at the Democratic narratives on a timeline, and listen, I don't have enough graphic support in order to create the true narrative, because this graphic would be 47 miles long, but I just wanted to go ahead and touch on the 5-year-old child father fled scene bullshit where this kid was abducted. And we're going to go more into this, but this is another graphic for another cell, but it doesn't matter. Everything's kind of connected. But look up 2014, Michael Brown. This kind of kicked off the BLM protests in the Summer of Love. This was the beginning. And yes, then we had Trayvon Martin, and yes, we had multiple shootings. Then you had the George Floyd situation. But Michael Brown, the hands up, don't shoot, Ferguson, Missouri, complete lie. Forensic came back, complete lie. Autopsy report came back, complete lie. There was no hands up. This was all a narrative. It was complete bullshit. Not true in any way, shape, or form. Even the person that was accompanying George Floyd as a witness Michael Brown said that he was absolutely not responsive to the police. He absolutely resisted. He did not comply. He didn't listen, et cetera, et cetera. 2017, the Charlottesville good people on both sides lie with tiki torches, where they talked about Trump and they used one sound clip and edited the back and the front, so it made it sound like Trump was supporting Nazis and white supremacists and fascists. The wet market in China in 2020 for COVID. I can't say too much because we're going to get shut down on channels. We can't even mention COVID nowadays. But the wet market narrative, now we're finding out that Wuhan lab wasn't a giant conspiracy. 2021, the Del Rio border incident, where they showed the pictures of them whipping Haitians, which was all completely a lie. And these aren't, anybody who's in Texas knows that these have nothing to do with whipping people. It has everything to do with moving the horse along. And they use them to make them go backwards, forwards, to make maneuvers. And it's a way to control the horse. The Maryland father case with Tren de Aragua member, 2023, said he was just a Maryland dad, and such a good human being and so kind, as he had MS-13 on his knuckles. And then now the child situation. Are they miserable because they never get satisfaction, because everything that they make up is just lies? That they've been promised so many times that Trump's going to go to jail, so many times that he wouldn't be the president, so many times that he's done something that finally is going to go ahead and get him convicted, that they are just kicking the can down the road for them with horrible coping skills, can't handle reality. Is that what this is? It's because they're constantly fed a narrative and lies from every source that they surround themselves with. Damani, what do you think? Does that have something to do with it, or is it something else?
Well, what I'll say is this: the Democrat Party, to its core, from its inception, has always been the party of violence and the party of anger. The only thing that we're witnessing now is the inevitable conclusion of those ideals being allowed to fester and then being allowed to be very specifically directed. Everything you just went through on that timeline shows the gradual progression. And all those things were more or less checkpoints for society. How are we going to tolerate people reacting to Michael Brown, right? And then how are we going to tolerate people reacting to Trayvon Martin? You could have gone all the way back to, I believe it was in the late 90s or maybe early 2000 when Elian Gonzalez, that whole controversy literally captured the entire world's attention. And there was a similar photo that looked all terrible and oh my gosh, like what is going on with immigration, right? And that was the topic du jour for quite a while. And then it died down just like any other liberal news story will die down. But they need you in that finite period of time to be laser focused on one thing and channel all of your rage and anger towards that, because the reason that I say that party is the party of violence and the party of anger is because that is what they always resort to. There are plenty of people on the left that I disagree with strongly, and even I see them on social media all the time. You know what I do? I just choose to say, okay, yeah, I disagree with that and keep it moving most of the time. But for them, the only reason that I'll post, hateful comments is because they can't leave it alone. They are so angry. They have nothing better to do than to jump up and down, go on social media and argue with anyone and everyone, because that's what an angry person would do. So the question becomes, is there any ability for these people to move on from that anger, or is the anger, as it appears to be in some cases, is that the only thing that they have left for the world? You'll never see someone who was on, and what's crazy is they think that people on the right, that we're super angry people. We're super happy, loving people. Like, yes, we'll address issues that come up, and that's what we should do. But I'm not sitting here and people think, oh, I'm looking at my phone like, oh my gosh, I'm so angry. I'm just like, that's really dumb. That's really dumb. That's really silly. I'm going to post that. I'm going to share that. And then, you know what? I'm going to put my phone down for a bit. I'm not going to be terminally online. I'm going to go play with my daughter and see what she wants to do in her playroom we're putting together for her. Like that kind of stuff is, I want to hang out with my wife and whatnot. But think about this as well. If you don't have those things to look forward to or enjoy yourself, then guess what? You're going to be sucked into that matrix deep. You're going to be on your phone scrolling deeply. These social media platforms, they are designed to extract the very worst out of you. They will show you things that you're going to respond to and react to and engage with. And if you do not have the moral turpitude, the intestinal fortitude, the emotional intelligence to see something you disagree with and move on, then guess what's going to happen? They will suck you in. You will never escape, and you will become those very worst aspects of yourself. And that's just the God's honest truth.
Yeah, sorry for the video. I'm trying to get it all balanced out. But here's the photo. I can't agree with you more. I couldn't agree with you more. Even when it comes to Christianity and the love that I see on this side, and whenever things happen that are truly devastating in a community, even on this channel, people come together. And you just don't see that on the left. You see them, it just seems to be a constant witch hunt. And there's this proverbial game of what's the name of it? Hunger Games going on. They just will take each other down, and you see them just destroy one another. If you say anything remotely out of sort from the narrative, I mean, you're canceled. You're just like a J.K. Rowling. I mean, you can go on and on and on about how they just literally eat each other. Like piranha. It's insanity. So here's the last one. Olivia's got to go after this, and then it's going to be Damani and I until the 9 o'clock hour, and then we're going to get him out of here. Glenn Clark, donate 2110. Thankful for helping us understand these geopolitical issues we are facing. Glenn, thank you so much. We appreciate it, and we appreciate Damani here. Kim Dreisen had a wonderful thing to say. Did you want to read what she had to say?
Sure.
You do that, and then we'll set up the next video, and then we'll get you out of here. So Kim just had something to say about Olivia.
She said, it's very true, Olivia. I have a friend who says he has conservative values, but last year switched from the Republican Party to the Democrat Party. He posted a lot of articles on Facebook about all the bad things Trump was doing, but never once did he post an article about how great Biden or Kamala were for the country. Yep.
Yeah. Well, because you can't.
You can't. There's not much.
It's an impossible task.
I mean, seriously, impossible task. So this one brought up some debate with you and I. Olivia, tell us about this real quick.
Okay. So this one, I saw, something's going on. So I saw, and I've got some issues from both sides, but basically a mother took to the internet because she felt her daughter was discriminated against, and because she took it to the internet, the school is now claiming defamation. So you can see the video and then
so this little girl is disabled, and they're saying she did it for, what did they did? They just treated her differently.
They treated her
wrong?
differently. There was some sort of a program.
All right.
And they put her off to the side instead of putting her in the middle. And so, yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's listen to it. We'll see what the debate is here.
Well, all of us farmers have officially fucked around.
That's
and
not
we
the
have
one.
officially found
That's
the
not
fuck
the one.
out.
Listen, bro. You can't do that to me. I had this thing set up beautifully. What happened? This one's funny, by the way.
We should do that one before I leave, because I don't want to leave, but I have to.
Well, you got to leave, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me, honey, look up here. Help me find it. I'm blind. Here it is.
Got it. Okay.
Let's see. I'm going to have to, you know what? Let me duplicate the slide. Hold on. Let me just do this. Farmer Ted. See, this is what happens when we can flow. And then it's right here. We go like this. Boom.
The video you're watching here sparked national attention after it went viral on TikTok. A Wisconsin mom says her disabled daughter was pushed off to the side during a school music program. But what happened next is even more troubling. After the mother posted the video and said she was considering homeschooling her daughter because of what happened, police showed up at her doorstep.
Okay. All right. So this child is in a wheelchair. These kids are standing on a collapsible stage risers for choir. And the little girl's off to the right, and she is sitting in a wheelchair. Okay. And she posted the video, and then this happened.
Even more troubling. After the mother posted the video and said she was considering homeschooling her daughter because of what happened, police showed up at her doorstep. She was asked to take the video down. And then the district hired an attorney to threaten her with a defamation lawsuit simply for speaking about what happened to her child. Parents have the right to speak up for their children. Using legal threats to silence a parent is outrageous. That's why the Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty.
Facebook just did it again to us.
Are you for what?
Nothing. 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 Nothing at all. Facebook just shut us down.
Did this last night, didn't I?
Do you want to know? 5 years. 5 years I've been doing this show. Do you want to know how many times that it's randomly the feed shut down? Never. Like maybe once or twice, but now this is 2 times in a row that they've shut us down. There's no copyright strike. There's not one thing we've done that
it's just waiting for live video signal.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm looking at it on my laptop here. Broadcast is waiting for a signal.
Last night when it did it twice, I just had to shut everything down and it resumed.
It's not resuming now.
Yeah, now it's just like a circle going around.
Well, we'll see.
That's super frustrating.
See if the number climbs. We had, what, 80, 89, 90 on?
It's like 82.
82, and then it poofed. Got
I didn't even notice till you brought it up.
40-something on YouTube. Yeah, plenty on Twitter. Rumble is solid. I mean, the live shows do really, really well. And they just keep shutting it down. And I know it dropped, guys. We're trying to figure it out. We just have to restart the whole thing over, and that sucks because Damani
they can
and Olivia
still
got to go.
Chat. That's the thing.
No,
they can still chat on
they can't see it.
Facebook.
They
I
can't
know,
see it,
but they
Liv.
could always switch to another thing.
No, that's not the way it works. You can't have 100 people flip to a channel that they don't have access to. It's just not the way it works. We got to reset
There
it.
you go. It's back. It shows there's 17 now on Facebook on my end. Now it says live video has ended. Huh.
Okay, hang on.
Yeah. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna say I love you, D, and I'm gonna let you go because you don't have to stay for this. This is we're gonna have to reboot and reset the whole show and do a part 2. And by the time we do that, man, it's gonna be 8:45. If you want to hang, we'd love to have you. If not, dude, there's no skin. We love having you here, and Olivia's got to go anyway. So,
But I'll be back.
You sure?
Yeah, I am. I am absolutely sure. This happens, and it sucks. And here's the thing, dude. It breaks the mojo, right? Because you've got viewers locked in. The algorithm's good. You're getting comments. It's growing. And then they shut you down, dude. They just shut you down.
Yep.
All right. I love you, buddy. I appreciate you. You don't have to. If you want to come on back, that's your choice. But either way, we're 15 minutes away, 20 minutes away from you having to go anyway. So you decide what you want to do. Cool.
Well, I've got 30% phone battery left. So if you send me another invite, I can jump back on for a part 2 real quick. Just like a short little, what do they call it? Epilogue.
Stay here and just stay in this room. I won't have to leave you. I'm just going to reset everything. And all right, guys, we'll be right back. We're going to set this up and we'll bring the wheelchair story. Olivia, say goodnight to everybody.
Good night, y'all. I hopefully will be back after I go run my errand, but if not y'all. But I do want to talk the wheelchair video.
Go make me my pot pie. Get out of here.
Yes.
Okay.